Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir is experiencing one of the most significant periods of unrest in recent years. Violent confrontation between demonstrators and security personnel have resulted in several fatalities, sparking widespread strikes, large-scale arrests, and accusations of human rights violations. As authorities in Islamabad tighten measures against dissent, concerns are mounting internationally over the worsening situation in the region and the handling of civilians protesting for greater political representation and economic justice. A report.
Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir has been rocked by deadly violence after security forces allegedly opened fire during anti-government protests in Rawalakot, leaving several people dead and dozens injured. The unrest was triggered by growing public anger over long-standing political grievances and a controversial decision to retain 12 reserved assembly seats for refugees living outside the territory ahead of elections scheduled for July. The situation escalated after authorities banned the Joint Awami Action Committee or JAAC, a civil society alliance that has spearheaded protests over governance, economic hardship and political representation. Following the clashes, authorities launched a sweeping crackdown, filed sedition cases against key leaders, announced rewards for their arrest and deployed additional security forces across the region. Reports also indicate internet restrictions and mass detentions amid growing fears of further violence. Amnesty International has expressed concern over the deteriorating human rights situation in the territory.
There are disturbing allegations that live fire was used against peaceful civilians, leading to the tragic loss of life and widespread fear across the region. The people of Pakistani-occupied Jammu and Kashmir have the right to peaceful assembly. They have the right to raise their voices without fear of bullets, intimidation, or repression. The deployment of large number of paramilitary and security personnel into the territory has created an atmosphere of fear and instability. Serious allegations are now being raised by local communities concerning disproportionate force, arbitrary detentions, intimidation, and grave human rights violations. These allegations require urgent international scrutiny. Today, I respectfully appeal to the United Nations and the United Nations Security Council not to ignore the suffering of our civilians. I call for the immediate intervention of the international community to prevent further escalation and bloodshed.
The violence has sparked widespread outrage across POJK, prompting protest groups to call for a region-wide shutdown. Cities and towns, including the capital Muzaffarabad, came to a standstill as markets, businesses and transport services remained shut in support of the strike. The shutdown reflected growing frustration among residents who accused Islamabad of suppressing local voices while refusing to address long-standing demands for political rights and greater accountability. Protest leaders argued that the heavy deployment of police and paramilitary forces has only deepened public anger and widened the trust deficit between local communities and the authorities.
जॉइंट एक्शन कमेटी के कॉल पर पूरे आज़ाद कश्मीर की तरह आज़ाद कश्मीर के सबसे बड़े कैपिटल सिटी जो है मुजफ्फराबाद, 5.5 लाख आबादी को आज आप देख लीजिए, ये टोटली वीरान है, मुकम्मल सुनसान है। इसकी वजह है कि हर दुकान और हर मार्केट, हर कूचा, हर गली, हर बाजार जो है वो मुकम्मल बंद है। इंसान बिल्कुल नापैद हो चुके हैं, ऐसे लगता है जैसे इस बस्ती में कोई रहता नहीं। ये एक बड़ा मुहज़्ज़ब, पुरअमन, डिसेंट अंदाज का एहतजाज है। कानून के दायरे के अंदर रहते हुए, आइन के दायरे के अंदर रहते हुए एहतजाज है। मुस्तरद कर रहा है हुकूमत के बयानी को कि ये लोग दहशतगर्द हैं, ये लोग पुरअमन हैं। दहशतगर्द जो है वो हुकूमत है जो जबर के ज़रिए, ताकत के ज़रिए इस पुरअमन सदा को दबाने की कोशिश करती है। लेकिन आज आप देख लें, हुकूमत आज़ाद कश्मीर में जबर की ताकत का इस्तेमाल करके मुकम्मल नाकाम हो चुकी है।
As the crackdown intensified, residents continued to call for dialogue instead of force. Many argued that the movement is not directed against Pakistan itself but against decades of perceived political marginalization and denial of rights. The current crisis has its roots in broader grievances that has fueled repeated demonstrations over the past several years, including protests over soaring electricity prices, food inflation, governance failures, and demands for greater local representation. Analysts say the latest unrest highlights growing dissatisfaction with Islamabad's handling of the region and exposes deeper questions about autonomy and democratic participation in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir.
भाईचारे से आप बात करें, आप बैठे टेबल टॉक करें और पाकिस्तान से बड़े लोगों को लाएं, इनके साथ बात करवाएं। ये लोग पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ तो नहीं है, ये तो किसी फौज के खिलाफ नहीं है, ये अपने हकूक मांग रहे। 70 साल से आपने हमें फुदू लगाया हुआ है, 70 साल से आप हमारे हकूक खा रहे।
Despite arrests, sedition charges, and a heightened security presence, protesters have shown no signs of backing down. The strike received widespread support across the territory, underscoring the scale of public anger against the administration. The confrontation comes at a sensitive time ahead of regional elections and threatens to further destabilize a territory already grappling with economic challenges and political uncertainty.
9 जून से आज पूरे आज़ाद कश्मीर में ताऊबर्ड से लेकर बनाले तक शटर डाउन पहिया जाम है। तो इसमें एक्शन कमेटी की काल पर लोगों ने लब्बैक कहा है और मुकम्मल और खामोशी के जरिए लोगों ने अपना इज़हार रिकॉर्ड करा दिया। ये जब तक वो एक्शन कमेटी वाले इस कॉल ऑफ नहीं करते, ये कंटिन्यू रहेगी, पब्लिक कितने दिन रहती है।
India has strongly condemned the killings and accused Pakistan of attempting to divert international attention from what New Delhi described as serious human rights violations in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Addressing reporters, Indian External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Randir Jaiswal said reports of police brutality, deaths and injuries among civilians reflected a disturbing pattern of repression.
We continue to see in this context a pattern of fake news and videos emanating from Pakistan. It is a desperate attempt by Pakistan to cover up its own failings and deflect attention away from its human rights abuses. There are reports of police brutality, which you would have seen. There are several reports in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir in which several people have been killed. There are several more who have been injured. We hope the international community will hold Pakistan accountable for its misdeeds and its abuses.
For now, Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir remains tense. Streets that were once bustling have fallen silent, while demands for justice, political representation, and accountability continue to grow louder. As authorities pursue protest leaders and tighten security measures, the crisis is rapidly evolving into a broader challenge to Islamabad's governance of the territory.